This is going to be an anthropological approach, Kendall. And I'm trying to mirror how we do this course, Anthropology 111, which we call People and Cultures of the World. And since we're going to look at Italy, or Venice mainly, it's going to be People and Cultures of Venice, but not just Venice. We're going to connect to at least one other part of Italy. And through that connection, we'll connect to the world as well, but it will be a very Italian connection. So when you sign up for this class, you get Division 4 credit and you get CD credit. And if you decide to become an anthropology major or minor, it also counts towards those 2 courses of study. So I stole a couple of images from the Wake Forest website, and then also a map of Venice, just to kind of orient students who haven't been there to a little bit of what it looks like. I think this is Casa Artom right here, isn't it, Mike?
That's correct.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly where we are in the Grand Canal, but somewhere in here.
Yeah.
And then there's another little canal that goes down along the back here, so the entrance to it is right there. I'm really excited. I've never stayed in a place like this, really. I don't think I've ever been to a city of canals like this. But more exciting is that it's Italy, and it has such potential for looking at culture and looking at how we define something like Italian culture, because over the course of a year, there are many more tourists in Venice than there are Venetians. So that will be an interesting way of viewing what we discuss when we discuss what culture is. I don't know why I can't advance this slide. There we go. So these are some images of Casa Artom itself. So here it is again on the canal, and this is the garden, or the, what do you call this kind of area? It's behind the house. And then here's a bedroom, which is what could be what your bedroom looks like. I only saw one image of a bedroom. They all might look different. I'm not sure.
Some of them face the canal like that, though. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then we've got a really great looking study area. And there are lots of other pictures of the interior of Casa Artom on the website, and you should go take a look at them. To me, it makes it really inviting, an inviting place to stay. So one of the things that we're going to do is focus on the clothing and fabric industries. So what I want students to be able to do is really 2 things: to get a sense of the variety of culture. But when we look too much at the variety, I think we tend to stick on the sort of the surface issues of what culture is. So a lot of times people define culture in their minds as things like the food that people eat, or the songs that they sing, or the festivals that they practice. And those are important parts of culture, and they're very enduring. But one of the reasons they endure so much is that they reflect deeper values and deeper practices. And in Italy, we can get a look at the depth of culture by following one aspect of culture into its deeper layers. So this is just a photograph from a fashion shop in Venice that I found on the web. And then fashion is also connected, of course, to fabric. And this is a photograph of some fabrics from a fabric shop in Venice that I also found on the web. So we're going to try to tie bits and pieces of these industries together through the production of cloth and the production of clothing and the maintenance of clothing. But we're also going to try to connect that to people's lives. So here we go. This is a laundry in Venice, and we'll be visiting places like laundries as well, and dry clothing, or what do we call it? Dry cleaning places, and there apparently are both kinds. I've done a little bit of investigation of this, but not a great deal. So, you know, I think that one of the differences perhaps between this program and other programs is that while we will do things like, you know, maybe go to the theater and obviously go to restaurants and engage in festivals, but we'll also look at daily life. So when we do things like go to the laundry, I want students to pay attention to what's going on in a laundry. How is a laundry different from one in the United States, and how does it fit into Venetian culture? So one thing, one way that I help to do that is that among the books that we're reading is a book about people who do laundry in Venice. And then somewhere towards the middle probably of the trip, I'll probably wait about 2 weeks or a little bit longer into the program to have us go to Prato. I want to make sure everybody has reached a good level of comfort with being in Italy before we take off to Prato. But Prato is about a 2.5-hour train ride, I believe, not too far from Florence, and it is Europe's largest textile district. So a lot of cloth is made in Prato, and a lot of fabric is printed in Prato. And I believe that there are industries that are related to fabric that number in the hundreds or even in the thousands of shops and businesses. One of the interesting things about the fabric industry in Italy is that the Made in Italy brand is largely hiding the reality that Made in Italy means made in Italy by Chinese immigrants. And so this is a photograph of some Chinese immigrants working in the fashion industry in Prato. I learned about this phenomenon from an anthropologist that I met named Betsy Krause, who's written a book called Tight Knit. And it was just published last year. And it is about the Chinese immigrant experience in Prato. So I have some resource there, some background that I can bring to bear on this trip that is going to enrich what we can learn there. I just contacted Betsy just the other day through email and reminded her that she and I know each other, and suggested that she might be able to contribute to the program somehow. And she responded almost immediately saying that she would be thrilled to do so, and she already had some ideas. So chances are we'll be able to have her join us through Zoom or something. None of us know where we'll be in May, June. I don't know if she's going to be in Italy or still in the United States, but she'll be able to join us through Zoom, hopefully, and you'll be able to interact directly with the author of this book and to explore your experiences in relation to hers. So those were the slides that I wanted to share. Those were the introductory comments that I wanted to make. I think we'll have a really exciting time because we'll have the chance to really look deeply into Italian culture from a number of dimensions, not just Italians, but immigrant Chinese Italians and how that connects Italy to the rest of the world. So we'll be dealing with some very big cultural questions.